For one sec, just want to get, we've got LinkedIn on here for the first time. So give me 1 second while everybody jumps in. Let's see how this is going. All right, we have Insta locked. Here we go. Go live. And we have LinkedIn locked. Let's see if that's going to work. Okay, we did it. All right, everyone, how is Tuesday going? I've got rain in California. It's been raining for the last 3 days. It's actually kind of nice. All right. There we go. Let everybody get in. We'll get the comments going on. All right, so how's everybody doing? How's spirits? How's the new year going? How's our goals doing? What's struggling? What's going on? What's everybody? How's everybody doing? Yeah, good, mate. Good to hear. Everybody can hear me okay? Yep, good. Auto correct. Mikey, howdy, Nan. What's going on? Days no weed. Okay, outstanding. I love it. I just turned 18 and have about 4K in an ISA. What should I do? All right, 18, you have 4K. That's huge. Like, great work. You got two options. First and foremost, I would look for probably ways that you can invest in yourself. Like, look for ways so that you can earn more income. So, if you know what you want to do, like, is there something you could learn online that will give you more skills to then go earn? Like, look for ways to invest in yourself. Other than that, you got your long-term investments. Like, you can make an argument that putting money into your Roth IRA at this age, you really don't have to put that much in for it to go nuts, right? Like, I just posted a video a couple days ago. It was an old one, but it went fully viral. And it's something Tony Robbins said a long time ago, that if you invest $300 a month out of, he didn't say put it in your Roth IRA, but if you invest $300 a month, every month from 18 to 28, so a 10-year run, and then you don't invest anymore. You don't reinvest. You just let that money keep going until your retirement, and you invested that into the market, which is basically the S&P 500, that because the historical performance has been 10%, and let's assume that continues, your like $28,000 would turn into $1.8 million. Which is crazy. If you put it in a Roth IRA, that's tax-free money. So you can make a strong argument that that's a pretty psycho path to getting some money to grow. But I would say this, like, if you think you're going to take more of a traditional career path or a conventional career path, then I think that's actually a pretty solid move. If you're a little bit more entrepreneurial and you think you're going to start your own company or, going to go more in that vein, then I actually think there's a strong argument to have that money and more invest it in yourself. So kind of it makes it easier to know what you want to do to then pick the best option going in. But nonetheless, that is huge to have that much money at that age. Great work. Hey, from Nashville, the Wild Heart, what's going on? I need to get out to Nashville. That's going to be this year for sure. It's been a while since I've been there. Waiting for the drought to start up this summer. Where do you live, My Castle? This is going to be a wet year for us. If you're on the West Coast, we're going to get a lot of rain this year. I'll be good when I win P-Rod's Tesla. Yeah, I saw that. P-Rod's giving away a Tesla. I've had 3 Teslas. I absolutely love them. They're my favorite car. It's my favorite car company. Give me an opportunity to work for you. I would love a chance. Andre, where do you live? If you live in California, come hang out with us, man. Come spend the day with us and see if this is what you like. Curious if Tesla should be concerned. A giveaway or lottery? No, Tesla has there's no risk with Tesla. I'm not doing well, Mikey. I lost Street Cinema, and all I watched was your and Paul's part. Dang, we're going old school with Street Cinema. Why is your voice changing to a thick voice? I don't know what that means. I'm 30 years old and I began learning to invest in currency. I have so many coins saved and a few old dollar bills, very rare. That's pretty rad. That's amazing. That's something that I've never really invested in currency. I'm a 16-year-old pro skateboarder that recently tore an ACL. What should I do with my life? Well, first and foremost, I would rehab your ACL. You're young. In theory, there shouldn't be anything that holds you back from continuing this path other than your mind. That's the biggest challenge to get past when it comes to like a knee surgery like that. Usually the doctor puts your knee together better than it was before, but for a lot of people, the mental barrier is very difficult to get past. So if you can get past that, I would say keep going at this. My family has 103 rentals. I do maintenance. I have no equity. Get my own rentals or play the waiting game? Good question, Chad. Man, if it were me personally, I'd get my own. That's what I would do. Like, I don't know. When my parents pass away, if they decide to give us stuff, great. I personally don't want to count on it, though. I'd rather have the tools to go out and do it myself. And honestly, I think it's just more fun that way. Like, I know there's an idea that it would be comfortable to not do anything and just get a bunch of assets handed to us by our parents. But I don't think that results in a better life, and I don't think that results in a more productive person or, citizen or resident. Like, you have skills that you can go out and apply and kind of, make this world better. If you're not using those skills, I don't think that's a good thing. And when you're going through trying to build something or learn something, you're going through kind of like a refining fire. That's what makes your skills even better. And so I would say go for it. Like, go get a property, then 2, then 3. If your parents have 103, go get 500 of these things, 5x what they did. I would recommend doing that. And if you're already managing the maintenance on them, you know a lot about rental properties. So I would say either go get your own, try to find groups that want to have kind of a property management company tied into them, create a partnership. But I would go for it. Should I wait for interest rates to come down before I move out to California or bite the bullet? Mike Castle. So I was looking at something last week that kind of gave a forecast that kind of looks like we may not see interest rates come down for a while. I know the Fed kind of gave this idea or outlook that they were going to start dropping rates this year. I'm not sure they're going to. And I actually think it could be what we're seeing right now might be the best we're going to get for the next decade. I don't think rates are going to go up significantly, but I don't think they're coming back down. I don't think they're going to be what they were a couple years ago, maybe ever again. But in the next 10 years, I don't think they're going to get there. So keep that in mind. Now, you can make the argument that pricing has stayed high because of the idea that rates were going to come back down to where they were. If they don't, we might see prices give a little bit. But the problem with housing, the problem with single family housing, is we treat it like an investment and we try to time the market. We try to get in at the best time. I don't think houses are meant for that. Like, I made that mistake when I was younger. I bought a house thinking it was an investment. I thought it was going to be the best investment I had ever made because that's what the American dream was, and that's what I grew up kind of believing. And so I bought a house, and then I tried to treat it like an investment. And anytime it needed work, or anytime, when I got married, my wife wanted to do things to the house, maybe redo the kitchen or the flooring, I looked at the price, and then I looked at what I thought we could sell the house for, and I was trying to gauge dollars in, dollars out. And it definitely took away from the experience of our home. I think if I would have treated it like a house, we probably would have done more to that house to just enjoy our time there. as opposed to like thinking about it as I invested this much on this date and here is all the cost that has gone into it and I'm going to exit it at this price and this is going to be my potential return. Like that's for investments. And so kind of where I've landed on this is a very long-winded way of saying it. I treat investments like investments. I treat my house like my house. So when I'm looking at an apartment building or a storage unit or even like a new business, I am looking at how much money I'm investing, how long I think it's going to be there, what the potential return, all of those factors. Yes, that's at play. But I think when you're buying a house, if you can afford it, go get it and go be in it and enjoy it. And if you're willing to live there for a while, I don't think it matters when you buy, as long as you can afford it. That was a very long way of answering that question. Any advice running a small art business? Just got through my first year doing art and running the small business, and it's rough at school, and it's rough. Art school graduate, and all I know is skateboarding. Okay, DeFreet. And I don't want to scare you out of this, but this is something you need to know. Business is tough, period. Especially the first 5 years. The first 5 years of the business are very difficult. And so I would recommend just continuing to go for it. Don't, like, dude, it's amazing you got through this first year. Like, that's awesome. Keep going. Keep at it. Worry about getting your name out there. Worry about bringing people in to help you build it. Build the foundation strong. And then step on the gas. But like, don't think that you need to have like the biggest company next year. Like, you know, it took me with Commune 5 years till I even started paying myself. Like it's hard to build business in the beginning. So I would recommend sticking with it. And if you want to pin your website or comment your website so we can all go check it out. Do you need to know many people to get started? Do you need to know many people to get to real estate as an agent? Well, if you're an agent, the more people you know, the better, because when you're trying to sell a product, you know, the bigger the buyer pool, the more demand, the higher the price can go, and then you'll make more money that way. So if you're an agent or you're thinking about becoming an agent, spend a lot of time networking and getting your name out there. Wouldn't you say most folks sort of have to look at their home as an investment? Okay, so yeah, that one's an interesting one. So if you look at like, okay, the majority of people have their net worth in their house. That's true. A house acts as a forced savings account, which is very good. Like it actually and truthfully keeps a lot of people out of poverty. So that's good. But that doesn't mean that you should be looking at it as an investment. Like you can not look at it as an investment and still make money. But I mean, think about it. Like who buys a house that they're going to live in and actually underwrites that house? Nobody does. Like, you know, even when we sell it, like think about what most people do. Oh, I bought it for $400 and I sold it for $700. So I made a $300,000 gain. Nobody factors in the cost of holding that thing for 3 years. Because remember, you're paying the mortgage. No one else is. All the maintenance, like we don't, you know, consider that in the equation. So I don't know. From what I found, if you treat your house like a house, you're still going to get the forced savings account element to it. It can still, you know, be there for you when you retire. You can get all of that. But I think you're going to enjoy it more if you treat it like your home and not an investment. And the other thing too, like, you know, when you're looking at debt or like financial leverage, like you don't necessarily want to like lever up your home. Like you're looking at basically paying off your house so that you can have no payment and you're looking for security when it's your home, right? When you're talking about investments, that's not what you do, right? You're looking at leverage, you're looking at maximizing your dollar, you're looking at opportunity costs, all these things. So I don't know. From my personal experience, I would have had a much better time and my wife and I would have avoided a lot of fights if I looked at my home as a home and not an investment. Should we rent or buy in this current state of economy? All right, so In a lot of markets, if you're just looking at the cost of living, there's a huge disparity. Like it from a cost of living standpoint, it makes more sense to rent than buy in a lot of markets, right? Like my market, the same, like if you're going to rent a home, let's say 2,000 square feet, 4-bedroom home. In my market, it's going to cost you $4,000 a month. That same exact home, if you were to buy it, you're going to be spending about $8,000 on your mortgage and property taxes. So it's a huge gap. Now, you make the argument that, yeah, but if you own it, you know, you're building equity in it. But I don't know, if it were me, like this one's been interesting. So if it were me, I wouldn't buy a house maybe ever. Like I would just rent, and I would put that money into more apartments, more storage units. That's what I would do. Because then you avoid if I bought my house, I'd be building equity, and when you're renting, you're just throwing out money. Well, if you're putting that money that would go as your down payment to own into actual assets, well, then you have the comparison of that asset versus the home you would own. I would prefer that all day long, but I'm married. I have kids. My wife does not like renting. My wife wants, especially as a designer, the freedom to do whatever she wants to that house. So I think it changes as you get older, but if it were me, dude, I'd probably rent forever. I want to build a legacy in my world, and I'm graduated in civil engineer. So at age 22, I really don't know what should I do actually. My family can support me, but I want to do something great. Amir, you're young. That's the beauty. Like you have a lot of time to figure this out. I would say, you know, do you like civil engineer? Is that something that you want to pursue? And if so, go do it and be phenomenal at it. Be excellent at it. I think that's actually, you can make an impact being great at something. I think we forget that just being a part of a team that's going out and creating something, like you're an intricate part of that. Like that's important. But you know, I think to your point, find out what your purpose is. Like if you can answer the question, why are you here? Like, why are you on this planet? What is the reason you are here? And align that with what you're doing. You're going to make all the impact in the world that way. I bought my house in Missouri for $87K. Moved to Missouri. Yeah. I don't remember the last time I went to Missouri. But there is still affordable housing out there, 100%. You know that the future of the world, you know what the future of the world is? The communist regime. So everything going to be hard for all of us. I don't agree with that. I don't think the future is the communist regime at all. I think communists would prefer it that way. And I think they're going to fight very hard to achieve that, but I don't believe that's the future. Young and hungry, I feel that. Do you think I could rent out the Teslas that I have that I can't afford anymore, but still have as equity for another Tesla? I don't know. I would go look at Toro and see what the average price per day that you can rent that thing out for, see how many days per month you can do it, and if it covers your costs, then heck yeah. If it doesn't, you might have to look into selling it. The hard part, Tesla, like, look, I'm a big Elon fan. Elon jammed Tesla owners up. If you bought a car before 2023, like, yeah, I had $40,000 of value just wiped away overnight because he dropped the price so much. Like, I mean, dude, I get why he did it. That's insane that he did it. Like, as an entrepreneur, I'm not sure I would do that if I was in his position. It's a scary move, but I get it. Being in storage unit rentals, what is your stance on building container homes? Like building homes? Like I've seen in storage units, people are doing like living in storage properties. I don't like that element of it, but like the storage container homes or converting storage into like actual living, I think that's awesome actually. Like I've seen a lot of really cool designs or people putting them together like stackables, and it looks rad. It looks super modern. It looks clean. I like it. But I have never looked into like the price savings in doing it. So I don't know. I just don't, it's just something I haven't done, but the look of it, I think is cool. I'm about to get rid of all the metal skate parks in California and build bowls and more skate parks with cement and marble. Is there still a lot of metal skate parks in California? Real estate to me means death for the communist regime and death to the metal ramp skate park. Okay, good. Have you ever found somebody living inside your storage unit rentals? We haven't. That's one thing we haven't found. Now, maybe that's because like our storage units, well, the majority of them are indoor, like climate control, and you have to, I mean, anybody can't just get in. We have people on site, so maybe that's why, but no, we haven't. Street skateboarding is still young. It's barely been added to the Olympics. Yeah, that's true. I personally don't think skateboarding is getting any bigger than it was. I think it's only getting smaller from here, is my personal opinion. Even with the Olympics, like I think it's awesome that it's in the Olympics, but I'm just not sold that skateboarding will ever translate to like the everyday person. Like I don't think it's going to. I have one primary residence paid off, congrats, and one investment home paid off. What would you do next with the equity? Well, for me, like what I do doesn't mean it's right for you. So let's, I think, start with that. If you look at my portfolio, it's very heavy storage and multifamily. I own, a good amount of equity in my actual business as well. I have a lot of money invested in actual startups, and then I have cash. I have a very little bit invested in the market right now, but the majority of my investments are basically private equity, venture, some fintech, and a lot of real estate. So that's what I'm into. It just doesn't mean it's right for you. Like, I don't know. My outlook's always been this. Like, I want to take the most amount of risk with the business I'm doing. Like, I'm comfortable when I'm driving the car. And so I like taking risks there. With everything else I'm investing in passively, I don't like taking a lot of risk. I think that's why I lean towards real estate, and then even more so multifamily and storage. Like, those are two asset classes that just do really well during downturns. And so I think that kind of makes sense with my personality, why the majority of my portfolio is structured that way. And then when you look at like the startups, they're definitely high risk. It's a smaller percentage of my portfolio. I typically put an amount in there that I'm comfortable losing. And once that percentage is allocated, that's it. Like, I have a lot of people that reach out to me now for, startups, and they're looking for, seed capital, or even like, a Series A round. And for the last 2 years, I'm fully allocated. Like, I tell them I'm fully allocated. Like, I'm not putting any money in any startups. And I will not put more money in startups until either, one of them sells and it changes my balance or the percentage that I've basically allocated for that space, or I start losing on some of those investments. That would shift it as well, and just hasn't happened yet. So that's kind of how I build my portfolio out. I'm about to turn 25. Is it foolish to go to college or tough it out finding a new career path without a degree? Manual labor is what I know, but it's not feeling worth it currently due to minimum wage. Okay, so my outlook on college is this. one, I think you have to know what you want to do first. If you don't know what you want to do, I personally wouldn't go to college, because I think once you know what you want to do, then it makes it easier for you to pick the best path to get there. And if you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, pick the career, and you have to go to college for that, okay, that makes that obvious. Or if you pick a career that college is going to basically put you in a position where you can make way more money doing it, well, that might be a reason to go to college as well. But if college isn't going to help you get there and you're not going to make any more money doing it, me personally, I don't see the value add in going there. I think college costs too much. How debt is structured, or student debt is structured, I think is trash. I think colleges are going to have to go through a major revamp here. They just don't make sense anymore. With that said, if you find out what you want to do and college isn't the path, I would not look at where minimum wage is landing. I think you're putting the bar too low personally. I would look at going to trade school. Go to trade school. There is so much demand for electricians, plumbers, that. If you're used to manual labor, dude, that has way more upside. And then you don't have to worry about minimum wage. You can actually make in a lot of cases more money than people with a college degree. So I would probably lean more towards that. Dos Vientos for life. That's where I grew up. Surprisingly enough, nonprofit organizations make money. I know. Unfortunately, there's a lot of nonprofits out there that kind of feel corrupt in some regards. I'm a realtor. Would you buy as many properties as you can since we get paid to buy? Well, I like the idea of buying as many properties as you can, but I don't think I would buy as many as I can just because you make a commission off it. I would be buying basically as many good deals as possible. But yeah, buy. I mean, it's crazy. I have so many friends who are real estate agents. I have a lot of real estate agents that follow me. The majority of them do not invest in real estate. The vast majority, which is crazy. So yes, be an agent who owns real estate. I think there's a huge strategic advantage that you have. I would use it. Mikey, hook it up with a job. Nova, where are you in California? If you're in California, dude, jump in, my man. Or Nova, that might be, was it Nova? That might be a girl. Nava. All right, let's make sure we're taking care of YouTube and Facebook. I don't want to leave them out. All right. Good to see Mikey out talking to the common folk. I hope I never lose touch with people. That's something I never wanted to. Even when I was skating, I remember when I was young, we met Bill Pepper. He was a pro skateboarder when we were kids. And he was such a dick. I remember I was with Spanky, and he was making fun of Spanky. It was we just had it was an awful experience. And I remember thinking if I ever turn pro, I don't ever want a kid to have the feeling that we just experienced. It was the never meet your idols totally came true. And so when I was skating, I always tried to hang on to that. I always wanted kids when they spoke to me to feel like I was just like them, just a normal person. And so I hope I don't ever want to lose that. If you're talking to me and you feel like I've big dogging you or I'm out of touch, please call me out on site, please. I've met Spanky. He's more of the director type now. Spanky's videos I think they're amazing. RP Best, dude. Look, man. I'm not going to go out exposing names, even though I dropped Bill Pepper, but that was the first one, man. And then one of the second pros we ever met was Chet Thomas. And Chet Thomas was like the coolest. And so, even as like a consumer, like if I were looking at both of those boards on the wall, I'd never buy a Bill Pepper board because of the experience I had with him, right? Like, be cool. Like, it just makes life so much better. But look, as I'm saying this, I am sure there has been a time where somebody was talking to me and like I was in a bad mood. Like, I guess I'm trying to have grace that like, all of us are imperfect and we all make mistakes. But that wasn't the first time, like, whatever. What does Bill Pepper do now? Like, does anybody know who Bill Pepper is? What does he do? Has he got any cooler? All the people that follow me that aren't skaters are like, what are you talking about? Mike, are you interested in deals in the San Diego market? We have a project in San Diego, actually. We're in the middle of construction right now on it. I like San Diego a lot. Our current project is in North Park. We're supposed to be done with that in about 10 months, I think is the goal. So the answer is yes, but this is look, everybody who's on here, I'm going to tell you you're going to get a very clear look at what the real estate market is like right now. Deal flow is everywhere. Like I almost want to tell you, do not show me deals, because we can't raise money fast enough for the deals that we want to be doing. So we're saying no to actually good deals. It's shifted. And so it sucks not going after opportunity. But the deals that we are committed to right now, that's what we're committed to over the next 6 months. Once we get through those, then I'll start looking at new deals again. But we had to almost start passing on deals because the deal flow, it ramped up so significantly, which is normal. Like, if you're not in the investment world, especially real estate, what happens is 3 years ago, there's money everywhere, right? Everybody's got money. And when everybody's got money, everybody's overpaying for stuff. When you're overpaying for stuff, there's no good deals out there. Like, you're looking at deals, but none of them are good. And then when it shifts and deals are everywhere, money is hard to get. And so even when you look back, like 2009, 10, 11, like all of us want to go back to that point and go, I'd buy everything. The challenge is there's no debt, so the financing market's toast. And then it's hard to raise money in those environments because most people, when there's uncertainty or times get hard, they pull their money back. They don't, look at those opportunities as a buying moment. And so raising money is harder in those moments. But I don't know, my outlook, even our Christmas party, this was December, what I told the entire team was 2024 is the year to get it, but it's not going to be easy. Like, this is going to be a year where everyone's head is down. We're going to be stepping on the gas and we're going to be going for it. But it's going to be a challenging year. And it's my perspective that when deal flow is everywhere and people are pulling back and people are scrambling, that's when you step on the gas, because that's when you actually take market share. And so that's kind of what we're doing right now. This year, we're 2 months in. Even my partner came in here before I started the live. He was like, bro, I've been on the phone all day long. I've been on the phone all day since January 1. Like, this is crazy. But I don't believe these moments last for long. And I don't want this moment to end. And I don't want to look back and go, dang, we didn't go after it as hard as we could. So we're on a step on the gas kind of moment right now as a company. But I mean, dude, there's too many deals. So if you have money and you could go after deals, I think there's a very strong argument that this is the time to be investing. That's for sure. Let's see. I'm getting a Toyota out of the dealership, but I'll keep real estate in mind. Okay. What sponsorship paid the best? When I was skating, my shoe sponsors always paid the best. I was sponsored by S, then DVS, then Etnies, then DC. Those are always the best. In my life now, like the sponsorship deals that I get, asked about, the banks. It's always the banks or the brokerages. They pay the best. For sure, they pay the best. What sponsorship paid the best during your skate career? DC was the most money I ever made, but it was mainly because of my shoe. I had a pretty good base on DC, but it wasn't that much bigger than my base on Etnies. Just my shoe sold like crazy, and so I was making a lot of money off of royalties. All right, do work. Let's go. I feel that. No Duffs? What? No Duffs? Duffs was RP. Was I? Oh my gosh, RP's on here. RP was the very first person that ever sponsored me. First call I ever got. Was I RP? Was I getting paid from Duffs? That's so insane. I was, right? Did I get a little check from Duffs? Do you remember? It was so long ago. I was 18? What's this live about? All right. Manic Millennial. This live started off as just wanted to make sure everybody was doing well, talking about life, opportunity, challenges. But we started moving into real estate and investing, and now we're talking about the money I made as a pro skateboarder. So I guess everything's on the table. Former pro Nick Dompierre has a good workout business going on. He totally does. I agree. Great audio, but you are slightly out of focus. Nail the eyes. Love your info and integrity. I appreciate that. Dang, I got to set the focus. I blew that. I paid you and gave you your first ad. I remember the first ad, lip slide down the 11th stair at Calabasas High. I'll never forget the first ad. That's right. You did. I thought you did pay me. I appreciate you, big dog. I really, really do. That's so epic. Current favorite whip. Okay, so what do you guys think about the Cybertruck? I'm into it. I don't like the silver one, but I've seen these matte black ones. I'm kind of feeling it. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm kind of into the Cybertruck. I have an X. I have a Model X right now. I really like the Model X. My wife doesn't love it though, so there's that. Do you like Costa Rica? It's good for real estate. I love Costa Rica. I've never invested out of the U.S. though, but I've spent a lot of time in Costa Rica. Costa Rica and Nicaragua were like go-tos for us throughout the year. I got a product that you guys will love for your luxury developments. It's a niche product that is spreading all over the country. They are aluminum patio awnings. Let me know if you want to see. Young winner, put the link in here to your website. Nah, bro, you tripping. I like Tesla, but the Cybertruck just looked dystopian to me. It looks crazy. Look, I'm with you. It looks crazy. But I kind of like that it actually looks different. Like when's the last time we actually saw a car actually look different? They've been doing the same thing forever. Since I was a kid, all cars are the same. So I don't know. I like the idea that thing is that funky. Have you seen the inside is psycho. It's crazy, but I like the black one. The silver one, it looks wild. OutdoorElementsUSA.com. All right, everybody, OutdoorElementsUSA.com. Do you talk business with Rob Dyrdek? I do talk business with Rob Dyrdek. Yeah, he's been a big mentor of mine for a long time. 100%. Wishing you all the best. First time listening to you from UK. Morel, I appreciate you. Have a great night. Thank you for being here. Nah, Cybertruck all day and is bulletproof. Look, we're in here. I'm feeling it. I'm into the Cybertruck. But I heard I heard it's rusting. That's not good. That's not a good look at all. UK is sick. It is. What's the deal with the new barracks? I don't know, actually. I haven't talked to Barra in a while. I got to find out. I'm not sure. I saw up close on Olympic Street. I was on my way to the Clippers game, and I was like, holy moly, Cybertruck. Yep. Are you reading these comments on OBS? Jordan, where are you, big dog? Where are you? I'm about to re-edit our round now that the people want me to win. I'm thinking about hacking the system. Cow soy, almond, or oat? Oat for me. Oat milk for me. Well, I wouldn't say bulletproof. Remember the rocks Elon threw? I think it is bulletproof now. The first sample, yeah, he blew out the window. Bro, trying to get in. Let's go. I'm 2 hours north of SF and was wondering, old school, 50-year-old skater here, much love. Oh, heck yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. If Street League called you and wanted you to be in the contest, would you do it? I would not. I have no business being there at all. I mean, when Sean Malto and P-Rod and Chris Cole aren't skating there, somebody who hasn't been pro for 9 years, who doesn't skate anymore, has no business being there as well. Got a new setup with lights and everything. Light it up, big dog. Where you at? I'm up in Santa Barbara. Let's connect. Montecito Homes. I'm up there pretty often. We're in Ventura all the time. Let's do it. I would love to. If you're a golfer, we got to get you on our new series. And Jordan, man, look, Jordan Rogers is on here. If anybody's a golfer or anybody's really into marketing, you need to follow Jordan Rogers. He's phenomenal at it. But there's a big but coming. Jordan Rogers and I played golf. And I don't want to leak this, but I'll just leak it to everybody on the live because we're all bros here. Jordan beat me, and he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have at all. I had him, like finger on the trigger, ready to go. He shouldn't have even came close, and he beat me. And I made a decision that I'm never going to lose again. Like Jordan's the last one. Jordan is the last one taking a W from me. And so, Jordan, we're going to have a rematch. Anybody else who wants to jump on this series we do, it's Pin High. We go golf for the day, and we talk business, and we bet on the par threes, right? All the par threes. And if you beat me, I make an investment into the stock or the crypto of your choosing. But if I beat you, I get my investment, right? Anybody want to jump into that? Start hitting me up. Let's line them up. Let's line them up. It's true. I didn't have a game and you still lost. Yeah, bro, never again, man. Never again. Never again. It's probably going to happen again, but never again. If you were a full-time student and working full-time, what would you do to try and lighten the load from work to have more focus on school? Not sure if that makes sense. That does make sense. It's a hard one. Like going to school and working it's there's no way around it. It's brutal. I'm not sure you have an opportunity to lighten the load unless you're going to finance or go into debt. So basically you're going to borrow money to put yourself in a position where you're just going to school and not having to work. Be careful doing that. Just make sure that the career you're choosing can actually pay back your debt. That's the biggest issue with school right now is it costs too much and you're not getting a return in a lot of cases. Not all, but in a lot. So that is an option, but be careful with it. Your only other option really is find a job where you're making more money. Sounds obvious, but I mean, it is. Or look for a way where you're not working for somebody else. Like you're doing something where, you know, you're selling your own product or service. But when you're in school, it's hard, man. I don't know if there's a good answer for you. Like if you want to put all your attention towards school, you might just need to stick with it, work just to basically cover your basic needs and pay attention to school. And then once it's over, go for it. That's a tough one. Do you think Tesla stock is undervalued? You know what? That's a tough one because I've only been told and have ever only been told for over a decade now that Tesla is overpriced. And knowing what I know now, I would have gone back and bought every single time. So I don't know. I'm a believer in Elon. Like, you know, I I would bet on Elon. So it's hard to say. Most smart people would say yes. Most smart people would say it's overvalued. But if I listened to them over the last decade, which I kind of did, like, here's a story. You ready for this one? So I read Elon's book in, what was his last book? When did that come out? Like 2012, 2013? And I read the book and I went, I'm investing in Tesla. Like, I just was like, this dude is willing to risk it all and is going to die before he fails, right? I was like, I'm going to invest in Tesla. And so I reached out to, one of the smart guys in my life. I was like, yo, man, like, I want to invest in Tesla. And he was like, well, let's do some underwriting. Let's check it out. Let's talk to some people. He's like, dude, everybody's saying it's overvalued. Like, everyone. And I was like, yeah, but whatever. Like, I'm not even investing in the stock. I'm investing in him, right? And I didn't invest. I listened and I didn't invest. And if I would have invested back then, I would have made an astronomical amount on Tesla. So shit's hard to say. It's hard to say. Thoughts on wholesaling? Have you ever reached a point where your ambition is in the way? Yes, 100%. Or I hit a point where I realized that your ambition, you may be sacrificing things that have a higher value. Let me think of the best way I can say this, because it's actually a really good question. Maybe I have to do it in a story, because I've got to spend some time thinking about this one. So my ambition when I was skating was to become the biggest skater I could become and have as much demand as I could possibly have to sell the most product I possibly could. And I was obsessed with that, more so like the brand element of it. And then when I started St. Archer, I was basically, what I realized was I wasn't as good as every other skater, but the amount of time I put into it was like 10x everyone else. And so I kind of had this idea. I was like, okay, I'm at the tail end of my career. I put in more time than anyone else. If I pull back and only put in 50% of my time into skateboarding, and then I put 50% of my time into the brewery, well, I'm still going to put more time into the people around me. And now I'm going to put my other energy into building something that's got some kind of scale to it. And that was my new obsession for about 4 years. Like, I'm going to build this brewery with Josh and Paul, and I'm going to have, demand as a pro skateboarder. I'm going to sell shoes. I'm going to sell clothes and skateboards. I'm going to build something. And when we sold the brewery and my skate career was coming to an end, basically I came to the realization that because my ambition was so large there, the sacrifice I was making was with my wife and my kids. And my wife and my marriage was not doing well. I did not see the kids that often. I was on the road like crazy. And when I was with my wife and kids, my mind was elsewhere. I was thinking about business and work. And thank God that didn't end our marriage, but it came close to. And so, I spent about a year with my wife kind of rebuilding our marriage, spent about a year like reprioritizing my life. And then I got to the point where I wanted to make sure that what I was building wasn't sacrificing the things in my life that were actually more important. And so I've just learned how to gauge it a little bit better. So like now, like if you were to ask me, like, Mikey, do you want to become a billionaire? I would tell you no, because I know what it takes. I think I know what it takes to become that. And I'm not willing to sacrifice. I'm not willing to make the sacrifices I would have to achieve it. And so I at least now I think have my goals set where I'm able to do all of this while still maintaining a great relationship with my wife, great relationship with the kids, relationship with friends and family. Like I still want that. And so, I guess that's a long way of saying your ambition can get in the way of things that are actually more valuable than that. But I will say this, like there's times in your life where you go for it. Like I'm in one of those moments right now. Like I am in a moment where it's off balance. Like I am spending more time on the business than I did 6 years ago. Like this is one of those moments where we're kind of all in on it. It's just for a time though. Like this isn't sustainable. Like you go for it, especially when the market's like this, and then you take a break and you breathe a little bit. And so I'm a little off balance right now, but the big difference is I don't make that decision on my own anymore. Like my wife is very much involved in those decisions now. And we start making plans for that, which I never did in the past. Like in the past, it was like, I'm just going to do this. And so it's been a lot easier to manage it, but it definitely takes more planning and effort to make sure if you're going to be spending way more time building something, that the time that you do have allocated to, like, let's say family or friends, they're getting all of it. Like there's no like, you know, me sitting in front of you thinking about like a new storage project. It's like you have my attention, not taking calls, no work. And so, you know, to kind of bring that into like what it looks like now, I don't work on the weekends anymore. Like Saturdays and Sundays, no work. Monday through Friday though, I'm going for it. You know, I'm here at 7, leaving usually between 5 and 6, and we work really hard here. And then I get home, we have dinner with the kids, I hang out with them, put them to bed, go to sleep, wake up, do it again. But no working on the weekend. So that's the time that I get with the kids and my wife where, you know, it's a very intentional time. And then with my wife, like we got to schedule dates. Like even if we're not going out, like we have to schedule time for us that's, you know, us connecting, just us two, not the kids. And when we're doing that well, it tends to work, but I'm not going to tell you it's perfect. Like there's definitely times where, you know, we got to readjust. Mikey, could we please set a meeting concerning an idea I have to earn a position at Commune Capital as a telemarketing lead generation? Being serious. Tropical. Okay, I'll be totally straightforward with you right now. I need zero help on lead generation, like zero. We have too many leads coming in. We cannot manage the leads coming in. It's too many. What we need help with is the management of those leads. And so we are hiring. We just hired a new girl last week. We put an offer in to another girl that I'm hoping she accepts. We talked to another one that I'm looking at hopefully hiring as well. We are building out that team, but I don't need help on the lead side. We need help on more of the sales side of it. You know, qualifying leads, setting the calls or setting to get on pitches, webinars, the follow-up, all of that. And so if you want to interview for that side, the back end side, this is the time to do it. We are actively building that out. So if that's of interest, this is who you're going to email. You're going to email Tawny, Tawny, Tawny at communecapital.com. Tell her that you want an interview for the sales side of Commune Capital. But if it's just leads, we just don't need that help right now. But I appreciate that. Okay, I'm in. Tawny is the girl to call. Do you feel like your mindset now is generational compounding rather than trying to make a large sum for the now? Colt 45, that's 100% correct. I'm not thinking about making money tomorrow. I'm definitely looking at this as way more of a long-term play. Like I want to double and triple my money. That's what I'm looking at, opportunities, doubling and tripling. And, you know, I say no to even income coming in now so that I can put that into these wealth builds. And that takes time. So yeah, I'm looking generational 100%. All right, everybody, speaking of my wife just texted me, said I thought I saw dinner. I'm starving and dinner's ready. Can you leave now? All right, I'm leaving now. Love you guys. Thanks for spending this time. I'm glad you are here. I should have some time. Actually, tomorrow we're doing a live call at 4 o'clock PST. Do I have the link in my bio? I'll put the link in my bio if anybody wants to join. We're going to be talking about new projects that we're doing on the multifamily side. We just got our third and final property about to close in this fund. That'll be the last property going in this. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, 4 o'clock PST. So if anybody wants to jump in on the live call, I'll put it in my bio right now. Give me like 2 minutes, and I'm going to take off